it's fascinating when Abinadi gets into this nitty-gritty discussion with them about the law of Moses, that they're saying, oh, well, of course we teach the law. We're priests. That's what we do. He asks them a question in the bottom of verse 31. Doth salvation come by the law of Moses? What say ye? And their response is, yeah, it does. Salvation does come by the law of Moses. And then Abinadi clarifies, I know that if ye keep the commandments of God, ye shall be saved. Yea, if ye keep the commandments which the Lord delivered unto Moses in the Mount Sinai, or the Mount of Sinai, saying, and then he launches into retelling them the 10 Commandments. Now, this is really odd because the first commandment is, thou shalt have no other gods before me, in verse 35, and then 36, the second commandment, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything in heaven above or of things which are in the earth beneath. We know based on earlier descriptions of Noah and what he's done, what do you think Noah's priestly and kingly throne room is adorned with? I think this makes them very, very uncomfortable, at which point Noah's like, okay, away with this fellow, let's kill him. So here come the guards, and in 13 verse 3 he says, touch me not, for God shall smite you if you lay your hands upon me. For I have not delivered the message which the Lord has sent me to deliver. I love this feeling of, you've got King Noah, you've got all of his priests, all of the guards, and all of the other people who might be there, all focused on one guy. There's no question who's really in charge here. The command was given by the king, the ultimate authority. Take him, seize him, take him away. And he says, touch me not. And they all back away. Taylor, you were talking about some interesting things connecting Abinadi with Moses. Here he is talking about Mount Sinai and Moses. And in the flesh, you've got some interesting things.
And he shines like Moses. So, no human king can fulfill God's promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. No human leader can do that. That's God's duties to us. But we only get those things if we keep the commandments. And as the priests of Noah said, well, we teach the law of Moses, Abinadi says, why don't you live it? And then here is Abinadi, where the priests claimed that their lead prophet that they want to follow is a guy named Moses. It's very powerful that Abinadi reinstates the 10 Commandments. He teaches the 10 Commandments to them, but more importantly, look at this. He ends up looking like Moses. Verse 5, came to pass after Abinadi had spoken these words that the people of King Noah durst not lay their hands on him, for the Spirit of the Lord was upon him, and his face shone with exceeding luster, even as Moses' did while on the Mount of Sinai while speaking with the Lord. God could not have been more clear to the people that Abinadi was his chosen Mosaic servant to teach the law of Moses, yet again, because those were the revealed commandments, so you could truly prosper in the land, and real prospering is actually having God's presence with you. And they still rejected, even though they had visual and oral confirmation that Abinadi was God's chosen prophet.
Yeah, the comparison to Moses continues here, because Moses goes up to the mount. How beautiful upon the mount are the feet of Moses, right? Getting this glorious vision of Jehovah and getting the commandments. And he comes down, and what are all the people doing? Worshipping a golden calf.
Yeah, back in Exodus 32.
And the comparisons between this. By the way, just as
That's
a side note,
great connection. That
is where the phrase was probably born that we still use to this day. Moses looked at what they were doing and said, holy cow. So I know that's probably a bunch of bull, but I hope you're okay with us using a little bit of unrighteous humor here.
And just as you were talking, I had this little thought that Moses actually comes down. He looks beautiful because he's radiating the light of God. And I'd never thought about this till you mentioned it, that Abinadi now looks like Moses, and so he looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And the priests were like, well, only prophets of God are really beautiful. And God's like, okay, let me show you what beauty is, and I will have my prophet shine with the light of truth.